Hey Krista, thanks so much, and congratulations to Justin Allgaier sweeping the Xfinity Series doubleheader there in Richmond. What's going to happen here at this NTT IndyCar Series doubleheader? It's all to play for with 5 races left on the season. A theme that the 2020 NTT IndyCar Series will be remembered for is doubleheader weekends. Twice the racing, and more often than not, it's twice as good. Today at Mid-Ohio, the top 2 in the championship are also the only 2 who have completed every lap this year. Scott Dixon is on target for an incredible 6th IndyCar title, and aiding that quest is arriving at a track he basically owns.
Dixon will win for the 6th time here at Mid-Ohio.
Joseph Newgarden is also a winner here, but knows this cannot happen again if he's to challenge Dixon for the crown.
Oh, and Newgarden and Hunter Ray get together.
2 champions, 2 Mid-Ohio winners, and 2 chances to get it right. And we will see how it unfolds today. At the moment, it's power to Newgarden as we welcome you to IndyCar Live, presented by Liberty Mutual Insurance. We'll tell you more about that in just a moment. But we are just so thrilled not only to be here at Mid-Ohio. It was a late call. It may not have happened, but it has. So many entities, so many people involved in making it happen, and we are very, very grateful. We're also thankful to see the fans here. A maximum of 6,000 today and tomorrow, and those lucky 6,000 people to watch IndyCars live here at one of America's best racetracks. We're also pleased that you're with us here on NBCSN. Hi folks, Lee Diffie along with a couple of drivers who enjoyed success here, Townsend Bell and Paul Tracy. So let's get to this championship story. Dixon has been the man. He's the man here with 6 wins, but he's starting 17th.
Wait, what? This is Scott Dixon's house. That's not supposed to happen. This guy has more experience at this track than any other driver in the field. He's won here 6 times. He's been on pole here twice. For him to go off 17th was a big shock. Nobody expected that, and there was no issues. He has won here before, though, from 22nd, but that was with yellow flags. The last 2 years, this race has run green the entire time. So Scott Dixon has his work cut out for him this afternoon.
He's not the only one, T-Bell, in the top 3 who's starting back there, because Paul Dixon in 17th, Pato O'Ward in 15th, Joseph Newgarden a lot further up. It's power to Newgarden at the moment, isn't it?
It certainly is, but you got to think about this. With Dixon back there, this championship is far from over. Turn 1 is super tricky here. There's always problems and drama back there, and he can get caught in the danger zone and get into an accident of somebody else's making. So he's got to survive the first lap here.
We have seen it before, no doubt about that. Let's keep this Scott Dixon theme going with Kelly Stavis. Kel?
Well, Lee's got a chance to join some elite company when it comes to athletes who have won 6 championships. Michael Jordan, of course, 6 championships with the Bulls in a span of just 8 years. Formula One megastar Lewis Hamilton already has 6, looks well on his way to a 7th championship this year. Tom Brady has hoisted the Vince Lombardi trophy 6 times as a Super Bowl champion, and the Pittsburgh Steelers have also won 6 NFL championships, ranging from the 1974 to 2008 season. So Scott Dixon, of course, hopes to add his name to the Astor Cup for a 6th time. But, Scott, there's still plenty of racing left ahead of us. We've got 5 races left in this season. So where is your focus now as we get into this final stretch?
Well, 6 definitely sounds better than 5, so that's definitely the focus, but we're definitely trying to make it hard for ourselves today. You know, it's been an interesting weekend, especially with these compressed schedules and things like that. We were super happy this morning, and then we can only put it down to a set of tires. We can't figure out why we really struggled in qualifying. You know, we were, I think, 3rd on black tires and then dropped all the way back. We were starting 17th today. So unfortunately, with the shortened race too, makes it a little bit tricky. You know, last year there was definitely a clear strategy shift between 2 and 3. So we'll have to see if we can get a little bit lucky, maybe with a caution or something like that. But we're going to have to push hard. PNC Bank number 9 guys have been super strong in the pits this year, and hopefully we're going to have to rely on that a little bit as well. But it's definitely going to make for an interesting weekend for us.
Scott Dixon, a 6-time winner here at Mid-Ohio, but has never won this race and the championship in the same years. Hinch?
Joseph Newgarden in the PPG Paints car is going to roll off 3rd today. Joseph, we just heard from Scott Dixon starting back in 17th. Is that what you guys needed to see, and how important is a strong result today to really claw back some of those points in the championship?
Well, it looks good now. If we could just finish the race in 1 lap, then we'll be just fine, you know. But obviously the start's going to be very different than where we end up. You know, hopefully we can maintain our positioning up front, maybe get another win, and you know, if we keep Scott back, it's going to go a long way in the championship. But I feel good about it. Great to be with Team Chevy. I think they brought the goods this weekend, and obviously the support from PPG is always great around Mid-Ohio. So, yeah, we're looking for big things. We've got to get through the start, and we'll see what we got all day.
Sounds good. Well, he's won here before. He's going to be trying to do it again in the #1 car, Lee.
Thanks, James. And he told us earlier this week that this championship in his mind is far from done. So it's going to be interesting today. Over 75 laps around Mid-Ohio. One of 2 races this weekend, which could be a massive swing in the right way in favor of Joseph Newgarden. We will see. You're watching IndyCar Live, presented by Liberty Mutual Insurance. Only pay for what you need. And when we... Ward, who's 3rd in the championship, but did not expect this to happen this morning. Can he rebound? Less than 15 minutes from the start of the first of 2 races this weekend here at Mid-Ohio, the Honda Indy 200. You'll see this youngster from Mexico star, Pato O'Ward. His words are simple. I am sick of being on the podium and not winning. He's ready to be on top.
Big time changing of the guard happening right now in IndyCar.
So excited to see what Pato O'Ward does.
He's been trying to kick the door down on his first win.
The new race leader, Pato O'Ward.
Pato just absolutely wheeling the thing, sliding the car at both ends of the track, and he'll be up against some of the best in the business. It is
Dual podiums for Pato O'Ward.
I get a feeling, though, that Pato O'Ward is tired already of second places.
It sure has been a lot of fun to watch this Indy 500 Rookie of the Year compete this year. But Pato, they say you got to lose some before you win one. What have you learned from those runner-up finishes and close calls?
Yeah, I think we've just, we've had a good time driving around this year. You know, we're so lucky to be racing. But I think I have just such a great group of people, with me. They're a lot smarter than what I am whenever it comes to numbers and graphs and all that kind of stuff. So I think we just really execute in what we have to do. I have to execute as a driver. They have to execute in, giving us the tools to be able to compete, talking about myself and my teammate Oliver Askew. So I think so far, we've had a great year, and we're just building on every single weekend. And I think it's very important to just focus on all the positives that we're getting out of this and just continue to improve.
Thank you, Pato O'Ward. Lee?
Let's see how he comes from 15th place on the grid. We're going to squeeze in a quick break, come back in time for some of the pre-race ceremonies. Just 12.5 minutes away from race start. Back in a moment.
Here today to honor America with the singing of our national anthem, please welcome Ohio Health Mansfield frontline medical worker, Karen Clifton.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hail at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting
Getting closer to race start, and when we look forward to a race, we sometimes look in the rearview mirror and remind ourselves what went down 12 months ago. It was an epic duel between teammates that was decided by just 0.09 of a second. Here's how it went down.
It's the Honda Indy 200 from Mid-Ohio. Here we go. Power gets the early jump. Scott Dixon is now lurking within range.
Oh, that was close.
Wheels.
Lots of pressure here.
Power maintains the position. Dixon is charging right back.
Looking high, looking low.
This time we'll make it stick. Ganassi is letting the drivers fight it out.
Just a reminder, it's still your teammate.
Scott Dixon trying to defend from his rookie teammate. They come together. The teammates are side by side. Felix Rosenquist around the inside. Now trying to swing to the outside. Dixon trying to hold him up. Final corner to the line. Scott Dixon will win. One of the closest road course races we've seen.
Well done there, Scott. Awesome job. 1-2 finish.
Successful day for Chip Ganassi Racing, and that man there, Scott Dixon, his 6th win here at Mid-Ohio. Twice as many wins as the next closest, which just happens to be Emerson Fittipaldi. That's not a bad record for Scott. Hey, speaking of Chip Ganassi Racing, you may have heard the news this week, and if you haven't, it is substantial. 7-time NASCAR Cup Series champion Jimmie Johnson made the announcement formal that he will come to IndyCar, the NTT IndyCar Series, for the next 2 years. Not full-time, though, on a partial season of road and street course races. This is phenomenal news. Champion driver here with us, Paul Tracy. What's your initial reaction?
Well, sometimes it takes a change in life to make a big impact and reignite the fire. And there's no question that Jimmie Johnson's fire is lit. He's poured a gallon of gasoline on there. He's raring to go. It's going to be hard work, but maybe I could be his driver's coach next year, because I'm going to be racing some stock cars with Tony Stewart, and I might need some help from him.
Always thinking ahead. I like it. I think what's really cool about this announcement, Lee, is that Jimmie Johnson is really committed to winning on this adventure. This is not just a fun thing, and this is something that he's wanted from a very young age, hanging on the fence as a kid growing up in Southern California, places like the Long Beach Grand Prix. And I think it speaks not only to the success and the momentum of the IndyCar Series right now, it speaks to the allure for a driver of IndyCar racing and racing these rockets around a track like here at Mid-Ohio.
And no one better to come out of the blocks and endorse him wholeheartedly and straight away than the legend Mario Andretti. Mario said, I think Jimmy's going to do very well and he'll be competitive pretty much straight away. Well, let's hear from the guy who he did the deal with and who he's going to drive for, Chip Ganassi with Kelly.
And Lee, maybe Chip needs to change his motto from I like winners to I like champions, because you've got 12 of them now on board between Scott and Jimmie Johnson. What do you expect the 7-time Cup champion will bring to the table here in IndyCar?
I expect him to just be a champion. I mean, the champion that he is. He's such a great person, and what a great opportunity for our team, for IndyCar racing. I think it's going to lift the whole paddock.
What does it say about your group? Presumably a 7-time NASCAR champion could go to just about any team here in the IndyCar garage. What does it say about the group you've assembled that he wanted to come work with you?
I don't know. That's for you to say, not me. I mean, I think it's just a great opportunity for our team. Jimmy's such a great guy. What a positive person. What a positive influence he's had on NASCAR, and hopefully he can do a little bit of that over here.
And you've had experience in both sides of the stock car world and IndyCar. What do you think that transition will be like for him?
It's going to be interesting for sure. I mean, I think certainly he can do it. And, it's a little difficult in these COVID times with, less and less track time for him to, to assimilate to the car. But what a hard worker he is. He's already wearing out our engineers with questions, and our driver coach, Dario Franchitti, he's calling him all hours of the day and night with questions. And, he's just a hard worker, and just like his teammate, Scott Dixon, and Felix and Marcus. So it's going to be good.
Certainly gives us all something to look forward to next year. Thank you, Chip. Hinch.
Guy Scott Dixon next year might have to deal with one of the very few people in motorsports that has more championships than he does. But today, the focus is going to be surviving turn 1. He's the master at staying out of trouble. But starting back in 17th, you're kind of in the thick of it and at other people's mercy. I know this firsthand. You can be an innocent bystander, be in the wrong place at the wrong time. Contact can send you off. It's happened to me here in turn 4. It is very, very tight down there. It's a switchback, turn 5, right to left. You can go side by side. So while Scott's great at staying out of trouble, he has to make sure he stays in a good position and not be collected by anybody else. It's going to be very challenging, but again, there's a reason he's got 5 championships under his belt. He knows how to do this.
Thanks, Hinch. And the turn 1 that the guys were referring to there is really turn 4, but it's turn 1 on the opening lap only with that back straight, unique starting position. You're watching IndyCar Live, presented by Liberty Mutual Insurance. Only pay for what you need. NBC Sports welcomes you to the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course for round 10 of the NTT IndyCar Series for 2020, and it's another doubleheader weekend. And fans are here. We are so pleased to say that and see you all. And there's a cap of 6,000 fans allowed here today on day 1, and again 6,000 again tomorrow. A special group of representatives and employees from Honda to give the command.
On behalf of the thousands of Honda associates living and working in Central Ohio, we would like to welcome you to the Honda Indy 200.
Drivers, start your engines.
A couple of former series champions will lead this race to green, starting with Will Power from Team Penske, who picked up his 60th career pole position today. He was ecstatic afterwards, telling me it's something he never dreamed of doing. It's his 5th year at Mid-Ohio, but now he needs to convert it into his first ever win at this track. Alongside of him will be Ryan Hunter-Reay in that bright yellow DHL Andretti Auto Sport machine. He finished on the podium here a year ago, which is something he hasn't done in all of 2020. In fact, just one top 5 finish, hoping that speed from qualifying translates to the race, Hinch.
Joseph Newgarden knows what he has to do. It's simple. Finish as far in front of Scott Dixon as possible. But beside him, Connor Daly in a career-best road course qualifying performance in 4th. He had the pole in Iowa. That was with Carlin. He's back with Ed Carpenter racing in the U.S. Air Force car, and he's going for his 2nd career podium today.
Need to bring you up to speed on an interesting angle and feature, if you like, that you can now be a part of, and that is NBC Sports PointsBet Sportsbook. And we're going to give you the odds before each and every race. Obviously, Scott Dixon is the overwhelming favorite because of his track record. Guys, who do you like from there as a long shot?
Give me Graham Rahal, local boys, won here before. But I also like Alex Palou, 3,000 points. So you bet $10, you'll win 300 if I've got my math right there.
30.
On Alex Palou.
30.
Sorry, 30.
30.
Oh, I was pumping it up. Yeah. I'm like any good promoter, like Don King. Paul, how about you?
I'm going to put that with those kind of odds. I'm going to put 10,000 on Rinus VeeKay. How about that?
So
I like that.
Some fun to be had. Instead of doing it at home with your family or friends and colleagues at work, you can do it now right here. Now as the field work their way around, we always like to show you the Honda two-seater driven by the legend Mario Andretti. He's got a very special guest with him today in the Honda two-seater. That's Dr. Lee Bowman, who is a doctor from not too far away from Dublin, Ohio, who's been a really important part of the Mid-Ohio track medical team since 1980, since the very first IndyCar race that was won by Johnny Rutherford. So he's being honored for his dedication to service to this track and to the races for 4 decades. Thank you very much, Dr. Lee Bowman, and enjoy the ride with Mario. All right, this is how they're going to line up on the Honda starting grid, and as Kelly said, for the 60th time in his career, Will Power on the pole position. First front row for Ryan Hunter-Reay in nearly 2 years.
Look at Road Dude there with Newgarden and Connor Daly. you know, Connor's going to have a chance to make a run here on the start because, Paul, they can file 2 wide through turns 4 and 5, which are basically like turns 1 and 2 on the start. So could see a lot of action like last year here with these cats.
Yeah, my pick, Rinus VK right there. Another good, strong qualifying as we move back down. Pato O'Ward had a crash this morning, so he's looking to rebound and stay up there in the top 3 in the points.
Of course, you got to talk about Scott Dixon there, starting 17th next to Takuma Sato. Both those drivers have been recent winners. They'll be looking to go big here. And further back, got more talent. Alex Pallot's one to watch, though. Had an issue, lost his fastest lap in qualifying for a pretty lazy, innocent spin for causing a yellow, but he has the pace today.
1 lap to green, and of course, this special starting spot on the back straight. Let's walk you through the onboards with thanks to Arrow. Pato O'Ward, who the boys have already mentioned, will have his work cut out from 15th on the grid. His teammate from Arrow McLaren SP is Oliver Askew, and this is thanks to Mission Foods. The NTT Data onboard camera on the NTT Data Honda of Felix Rosenquist, who came second, almost won his first race here a year ago. Graham Rahal and the United Rentals on board. This is a very special place for Graham. Can he get another victory? We will see. The DXC technology on board, and Simon Pagano, he loves this car this weekend. We'll see how he goes. Gainbridge provides us this view of Zach Veach's Honda from Andretti Autosport. Zach's got a little bit of work to do coming from the back. His teammate and the Auto Nation onboard camera of Alexander Rossi. Will he be a player? Will he be in the mix? He's won here before. He likes this track. His teammate at Andretti Autosport, and also carrying the Auto Nation onboard camera, RHR, Ryan Hunter-Reay, ready to go. Let's take a quick look at the Land Rover track facts as we get closer to the start of this race.
This will be an interesting start. Will Power, a lot of drama last week around the start at St. Louis. It was an accident. He likes to start off slow, but Townsend, I think Hunter-Reay's got to go and just get the jump on him.
Yeah, it's hard for the flag station to really tell who gets a jump here because it's a long run to the flag station coming out of the keyhole. But like you said, Paul, Power can usually really drag the speed for a while and be very late to go to throttle. It's his prerogative, though. Let's see what he does this time.
Keep your eyes on that blue and white PPG paints car of Joseph Newgarden. He's second in the championship and wants to really capitalize on Dixon being back in 17th and him being on the second row. We're ready to bring the action here in Mid-Ohio. Let's go! Well, race 1 of the doubleheader weekend, the Honda Indy 200. Power certainly didn't hang about then.
Yeah, he changed it up and went early, but Hunter-Reay's right in the draft. Everybody popping out. Connor Daly takes a look on the inside.
Awesome qualifying from Connor Daly. Jack Harvey in there. Alexander Rossi in the yellow and blue Napa car. Connor Daly goes right around the outside of Ryan Hunter-Reay.
Oh, beautiful stuff from Daly to hang on outside, and he gets that 3rd position.
Clear, go, go, go. The start that I thought Hunter-Reay would get. He got passed by 2 guys. Joseph Newgarden slides into 2nd. More action here in the back.
Herta and Ferrucci. Then they're Dixon. Trying to stay out of trouble there.
Trying to get by his ex-teammate Carlin Carr of Max Chilton. I think he got that job done. Yes, he is ahead of him. So a lot of action in the back. Dixon's got to be careful here.
Busy, but a relatively clean opening lap. Power, Newgarden, Daly. What a start for the US Air Force Chevrolet. There he goes.
Connor was so thrilled after qualifying, just talking about how many gains they've made on the road course package at Carpenter Racing. Is this move with Rosenquist having to look up the inside of Alexander Rossi?
They hit. He hit him right
on the
head.
VK and Pagano.
Got in deep, tagged the rookie, spins, and continues.
It's an anti-stall now. He's trying to get it started.
All clear.
There he goes. He got it running, but I saw contact with Rosenquist and Rossi, the exact same scenario as Pagano.
And they're still going at it on the backside. Now Rossi, the first driver to start on the harder black compound tires, less grip initially, but they should last a little longer. And Rosenquist knows he has to make quick work of Rossi now before Rossi gets tire temperature and tire pressure.
Well, you knock your front wing off and you're going to really wound yourself, but he was all over the back of Rossi on the first lap.
That's the fight for 5th position. Let's show you the replay as Pagano is playing catch up the best he can. Check this out. Up to turn 2, the keyhole, bang.
VK gave him room. He gave Pagano plenty of room, but Pagano was just in deep and lost the rear. Got loose, they touched, and it went around.
A little bump there inside, or maybe Pagano just clipped that apex curve, but so many years we've seen incidents there under challenge situations. We understand the incident is under review, but I'm not sure VK lost much in that situation. Currently still running 10th. Dixon up the most positions, 4 spots to 13th right now. So that was huge for Scott Dixon to take advantage of the opening lap and make some stuff happen.
Wow, look at Dixon under brakes there, right up behind Colton Herta. He is on the attack. The series leader has led at every stage, every step of the way in 2020.
And just like Rosenquist, Scott Dixon on reds with 3 cars on blacks in front of him. That's Herta, Ferrucci, and VK.
Dixon was a little mystified as to why he qualified so far back. He said, I thought we had a pretty good car earlier today. So it was some head-scratching moments at Chip Ganassi Racing on the 9 team, but he's making up for it now. Conversely, Pagenaud, who started 10th, is in 23rd and last and playing catch-up.
Well, he's got 2 young Tigers here in front of him that are really tough to pass. And these 2 guys, I think you could almost combine their age, and they're the same age as Dixon. These young guys are down in their early 20s and teens. But he's looking, taking a look. Not quite there.
Comes back, but Herta leaves the door open, and now Scotty D's making a move.
He is on the hustle early. He is not hanging around because he is fully aware of where Joseph Newgarden is. He's got plenty of championship points and a buffer to play with, but he wants to protect that. He wants to go to the last race at St. Petersburg in Florida, having already wrapped the championship up. He'd like to relax.
And Hunter Ray wants to get back to that top 2 starting position. Just made a move on Connor Daly. And Rossi still hanging on in front of Rosenquist.
Hunter Ray is recovering, back up to pace now. Now the key now is settling in and see what the tire deg is going to be like. Like last year, the tire degradation was really bad. So and they've had no practice hardly at all this year, so it's an unknown.
You can just see the grip advantage in that final corner for Scott Dixon over the curb. Let's see if he can get a good run here. Awfully tough. It's the fastest corner on the track. Turn 1, a lot of turbulent air. And let's see if he ducks in here. If Herta defends that inside. Door's still open, but Dixon not close enough. And no action from race control on the contact with Rinus VK and Simon Pagenaud.
Scott Dixon is pushing really hard as Graham Rahal looks down the outside of Jack Harvey. A lot of different strategy here, Townsend, with reds and black tires.
Yep.
Graham Rahal on blacks, Jack Harvey on reds.
And we'll be watching the lap times of the leader, Will Power, to see if, like last year, you get to sort of a dropping off the cliff moment where all of a sudden you start losing a couple, 2-3 seconds a lap and have to come to pit lane. Fuel windows are pretty wide today as the race has been shortened to 75 laps because of the doubleheader over 90. So it's an easy 2-stopper with pretty wide windows. So if you see Power's pace start to fall, he'll probably duck to pit lane as long as he's passed about lap 15.
Have to use each of those compounds for at least 2 green flag laps of competition. And if you have a look at the Speedway leaderboard, look a little further down in 9th position. Good start from Marco Andretti in the Surge-Air Honda. Marco's only had 1 top 10 this year. There he is. He heads that pack of Rinus VK. Behind VK, Ferrucci, Herta, Dixon, O'Ward. It's an angry little pack there, all pushing hard. Somebody's dropped a wheel off the keyhole, and we hear it was Alexander Rossi, who's been under siege from Felix Rosenquist, last year's runner-up. Here we go, Ferrucci
makes a move on VK. VK squeezes him but leaves him enough room. That was a nice solid pass.
VK has had tremendous success here in the junior categories in the road to Indy. He has never finished off the podium here. So he's got some work to do if he wants to keep that trend going, because he's just lost 10th place to Santino Ferrucci.
Now you've got VK chased by Colton Herta, a repeat of the last race at St. Louis when Herta felt he got chopped pretty heavily by Rinus VK. Scott Dixon, I wonder if he's seen that NBC race replay, and he might be just thinking, okay, got to protect my car here against the young guns. Let's take a look here in the second window. Race 2 at Worldwide Technology Raceway. Colton Herta gets high, and it was because of this moment right there. VK going for the one groove that was available.
Ferrucci makes
and Ferrucci's making a move on Marco.
Oh, they've touched too. Bang wheels in the corner. Marco hangs tough on the outside.
Oh.
He's going to lose it. Oh, VK's off as well.
And Herta
Look at Herta. Here comes Herta.
Here comes Dixon with a big run on VK.
Chilton wants in on the mix as well.
And Dixon was able to get by VK, so that's huge for Scott Dixon, moving up a couple more positions.
He's up 5 from where he started. Let's ride with Pato Award. This is busy.
Yeah, this is all the young guys. This is the new generation of IndyCar drivers with Scott Dixon mixed right in the middle of all these guys, and they are running him hard.
Scott Dixon started his IndyCar career when these guys were born.
A little wide there. That's what got him in trouble this morning. He was a little bit wide. Missed the apex and lost it, but he's looking for clean air right now to get a shot off the corner.
This is an immense physical examination this weekend here at Mid-Ohio, the Honda Indy 200. This track is so physically taxing on the drivers as Marco Andretti and his teammate Colton Herta go out, and Dixon's lining up for a shot at Andretti.
Marco drops a wheel in the dirt.
Here comes VK.
That upset Dixon's run. VK's clear. That Chevy's got some power right now. He's taking a look at Marco.
So he's stabilized because he got attacked there.
Set him up and get around him now, buddy.
Well, also, I think the black tires have stabilized. They're really coming into their sweet spot now, where the reds and blacks, this could be the crossover point we talk about all the time, where the red advantage has largely gone away.
Well, VK's on reds and making moves. So, oh no, he's on blacks.
VK's on blacks.
The fall off last year with the reds happened at about 12 to 15 laps, can't you? I mean, you can explain it to everybody watching out there what it's like to drive when the tires go away on you.
It's like driving on ice, guys. When you're driving an IndyCar on the limit, as you know, it's already very sketchy. You're on the limit of grip, but it's very difficult when the tires start to go. It's like driving on ice in a road car. There's nothing in the front, there's nothing in the back. You can't brake, you can't turn, and you can't get the power down. So trying to defend is so difficult.
Oh,
VK and Dixon have swapped the lead 3 times this lap, and it's going to happen again. They almost won. VK buried up the back. They're going to split Marco on the back straight.
3 wide.
Going for it, turn 4. Dixon on Marco Andretti and gets it done.
Dixon wants no part of that battle. Get me out of here. Get me to the front. Get me to clean air. I need these points.
This is unbelievable racing.
17th to 11th in 8 laps. Scott Dixon. Awesome performance.
Dixon's now checked out on Marco. All these guys are stacked up behind him now.
If you needed any other reminder of why Scott Dixon's so good at Mid-Ohio, you just had it.
And he's left him behind. Look at that gap. Meanwhile, up front, let's not forget about our race leader. Will Power in the Verizon Chevrolet leads Joseph Newgarden and his teammate by 2 seconds. NBCSN's coverage of IndyCar is brought to you by Honda, an official vehicle of the NTT IndyCar Series, and by United Rentals, official equipment rental services provider of Ray Hall, Letterman Lanigan, and sponsor of Graham Rahal. Also want to say thanks to Geico for this awesome aerial coverage. Look at that. Really shows you the beautiful plot of land that Mid-Ohio is laid out on. You got that Clear Fork Reservoir in the background, really beautiful. Part of the state of Ohio. Quick reminder that, yes, we came off NASCAR Xfinity Series racing. We are going to NASCAR Cup Series playoff racing when we are done. So busy weekend here in Ohio, busy weekend in Richmond, Virginia as well. Welcome back, folks. Lee Diffie, Townsend Bell, Paul Tracy. The Mayor of Hinchtown, James Hinchcliffe, is back with us, and Kelly Stabist as well. Here goes Pato Award, thinking about it on Marco Andretti. They almost touch.
I think that's Askew.
Or was it Askew? Pardon me. That's right, yeah, Pato's gone, hasn't he?
Marco was on the radio saying his car's just getting worse.
This one and one more,
every
Marco.
lap.
This one and one more, then we're going to help you.
They're going to bring him in one more lap, so he's been being attacked by everybody in the field.
Here we go, Askew slides through, turn 4. View from Simon Pagenaud, who started 10th, went back to 23rd, and has now worked his way up to 19th.
There's no rear grip, Townsend, in his car. He just can't
We
put the
need 2
power
laps
down
from
at all.
here. Clear track, let's do it to it.
Yeah, he's sliding all over the place. Up front, though, Will Power on the red, still clicking off 109s. opening up a little bit more of a gap to Newgarden. So
he's got no threat, so he's not really trying to push and race, Kelly. He's just maintaining the tire, and it seems to be working right now.
Yeah, the team has told has told Will Power to take care of his tires, but they've also told him he can continue to make pace there up front. Meanwhile, Simon Pagenaud, you mentioned he qualified 10th, and he was frustrated because he did not really get a clean lap in qualifying. He was caught up in traffic. Then, of course, the contact with the 21 sent him all the way to the back of the pack, so the team's going to do what they can to help him get clean air. Here's what they said over the radio.
Okay, keep after these guys. What we're thinking about doing is maybe shorten here, and then coming in, getting some open air for you, run on blacks in the open, then come back with reds to finish.
Remember last week he also got kind of caught up in the back and really couldn't make his way forward, so he was a little bit frustrated off his results last week at Gateway, hoping for better things here in Mid-Ohio.
Yeah, got slammed coming to the green there, actually by the guy who was chasing, Oliver Askew, who said, you know, Pagenaud's gearbox was my reference point, that's all I could see, so he went, I went, and then everybody hit the brakes, so it was an unfortunate sequence of events. Will Power out in front of Joseph Newgarden. Two Team Penske Chevrolets first and second. I know there's a long way to go, but I'm just keeping you in the loop. Picture-wise, Joseph Newgarden, this is exactly what he was hoping for. The points at the moment, Joseph Newgarden has sliced 21 out of Dixon's lead. That's the kind of turnaround he's looking for. Ray Hall on Harvey. Down the back straight to turn 4. Harvey's got the preferred line.
Harvey super late on the brakes, making those tires work, Hinch. Right now, here's the issue. I like the strategy that Kyle Moore is calling, but that's the same strategy that Dixon did last year. He finished on reds, and the tires fell apart on him.
It definitely depends on how your car is doing. Scott was a master last year holding on to the reds there, but it's going to be tricky to do it today. If you come in early, we've talked about it before on the undercut and overcut. If you do the undercut, at some point, you're going to have to pay the piper and do that long stint, and doing it on reds is definitely a risk.
Have to see how hard Marco Andretti fights to stay on the lead lap. Going to be awfully tough on new cold blacks.
Whoa. Power runs way wide. Marco's on fresh tires. He's got to try to hang on here and keep him behind.
Try and get him done quickly.
Yeah, no chance there for Marco on cold tires
You're all
to
clear.
hold off Will Power. So that helps Power keep the clean air advantage up front. Absolutely nobody up the road right now to slow down Will Power as that gap to Newgarden opens up to 3.5 seconds.
Take two. Another shot for Graham Rahal on Jack Harvey. Talking about the battle for 7th place, but Jack has a little more of an advantage in that AutoNation Sirius XM Honda for Meyer Shank Racing. Huge weekend for Mike Shank, Jim Meyer. This is where the team is headquartered, not too far away in Pataskala.
Hometown. Graham Rahal from Ohio, so this is the battle of the Team Ohio here.
Special helmet design that Graham's running, an Ohio design. Remember, he ran that Ohio State helmet here before. This is just dedicated to Ohio. Whoa, Jack Harvey with his hands full.
Harvey really struggling with rear tires, a lot like Marco Andretti, so this will be fun. Nobody knows the terrain and the tricks here better than the Rahal family.
I heard them just call Jack Harvey in. I heard Mike Shank's voice saying pit, next lap. So coming in.
Car Herta, 1 second back.
So that's important information to get to Graham Rahal if they're scanning channels, to not take too much of a risk here to get by Harvey, because he's going to come in about a half a lap.
We think Harvey's going to box.
There you go.
Graham's got to run here, so I think he'll get him here, but Harvey's a late breaker, and he dives it in there with him.
Still there. There you go.
Good, clean, respectful racing. Graham Rahal, now that, look at the gap that he opens up to Harvey. So if he didn't take that chance, he could have lost precious maybe 2 seconds, 3 seconds at the rate he's pulling away now. So very good decision making, good clean racing from Jack Harvey. He'll come in and
pit this lap, pit.
Almost certainly go to blacks.
It's a very special track for Jack Harvey too. This is where he got his first race victory when he moved to America. So happy memories here at Mid-Ohio. Here he is diving for the lane. He was running in 7th, and a strong 7th for that opening.
Why did we wait?
Opening stint. Oh, he's saying, why did we wait? He feels they may have lost too much time.
Jack. Come on, hit the mark.
Get in here. Come on, Kelly, get in here.
That's right. No extra pressure, though, Jack Harvey says, being a home track, other than he really wants to bring home a good result for his team bosses. He started on those red alternate tires, and he will go to some sticker red alternates, top him up with fuel, and the 60 is on his way.
Took the fueler a little while to get the probe in there. He lost a couple of seconds there. That stop should have been down in the 7-second range, but the fuel probe wouldn't go in. So we'll see where he cycles out. Here's Sato.
Black's coming off, red's going on. Little additional front wing.
Sits fourth in the championship in the MyJack Honda. Taku has never finished better than 8th in an NTT IndyCar Series championship. So sitting pretty at the moment with, after today, 4 more races left in this 2020 championship. Power is on the power. Will's doing a great job and has led every lap. Joseph Newgarden just pits, so too Felix Rosenqvist ahead there of Connor Daly. Simon Pagenaud came in, had a little hiccup, so too did Pato O'Ward.
Well, Dixon's going to be coming, but now that his teammate has pitted, he really can't afford to stay out. If a yellow comes out, that'll really hurt him, so I would expect to see him on the next lap here as he looks at lapping his teammate who stalled in the pits.
That was the radio call for Will Power to come to pit lane. Comes at the perfect time because Pagenaud had issues on his stop. So here comes the 12.
Copy. You're going to have a clear in, nice and easy. 4 tires and fuel.
And Will Power said the tires actually felt pretty good well into that stint. Felt like the track was coming into him. Again, he started on those red alternate tires, but they've got some black primary tires prepared for him. Let's see if they make adjustments. Looks like a clean stop for Will Power.
6.9.
Let's see where Joseph Newgarden is in relation.
Scott Dixon slides into his pit box. He was inside the top 10, currently 7th. We'll see where he cycles out after all the pit stops. But he has worked his way into the top 10 and a really fast stop at 6.8.
Will Power was able to beat Joseph Newgarden out fairly comfortably. Power's already leaving turn 2. Here we go. And Newgarden is in the background. You'll see him just coming into a shot there at the top. So comfortable for Will Power. Certainly in control, in command. And this has been a very clean weekend so far for Power. Can't say that across the scope of the 2020 season a whole lot for Will. But at this track specifically, his record has been amazing. He's raced here 11 times. 8 of those 11 have been in the top 5, most of them on the podium. But as Kelly mentioned right at the top of the broadcast, a victory here at Mid-Ohio is one of the few tracks where a victory has eluded him. And that's a point of contention, frustration. And he's a series champion, he's an Indy 500 winner. He wants to continue that and he wants to win. It's bugging him, by the way, that his 2 teammates have been victorious this year and he hasn't. So there's a lot to kind of get off the table, so to speak, for Will Power today if he can win. But we're only working lap 23 of 75. Let's talk more about Alexander Rossi with James Hinchcliffe. Hinch?
Yeah, guys, they were the first car to start on the primary black tires, and this was the plan all along. Let the guy starting in front with the red sidewall tires peel off, get some clean air, and in this clean air, he's managed to knock about a half a second off his lap time. So as these drivers are coming out of the pits on those cold reds, they're going to have slower lap times. If they can just knock out a few really solid runs here before they come in, there's a good chance they're going to leapfrog some of these guys through this sequence.
Look at the lights light up on his steering wheel, Paul. Using push to pass at every corner exit. Let's see if he does it here. Watch his right thumb.
He stays out. He just laid down a 109.7. Graham Rahal ran a 109.3. So they are
You'll see one, number 5 with 6 laps here. Keep pushing.
They're going to push the long strategy here, you know, based on if it doesn't go yellow, they could do the overcut and leapfrog in front of Power. If he continues to run at this kind of pace, that lap a 9.3, he's laying down big time laps.
I don't know if he can leap Power necessarily, but he can take a big chunk out of the deficit. Look at the push to pass usage. That's so smart there. Just coming off all the slow corners, he grabs about a second of push to pass to help get the car up off the corner. He still has 152 seconds left.
You get 200 seconds of push to pass, and you can use in maximum of 20-second deployment intervals.
I'll tell you what, here's the thing. Power's stuck back there with VK and Ferrucci, and they're running high 110s, 110.7, and Rossi's running 109.3. He's running over a second a lap quicker. He can erase that deficit really quickly.
I was impressed with Alexander Rossi's attitude earlier this week when I spoke to him, and he said, look, the season is what it is. I've never had a season like this in my racing career. He said, I've just got to take it. But he said on the positive, I've got 5 races left in the season. If I go out with 5 straight wins, that's what people will be talking about. So I know that I'm not in the championship. He came into this 10th round 18th in the points, which is so unusual for Rossi. And he said, let's just go for wins. Let's enjoy it and let's go for wins. Nice approach and good attitude.
Hanging on for dear life. Working on it.
Couldn't tell who that was. I think it might have been.
I think it was Connor Daly.
Well, yeah, it could have been Connor. It could have been Graham. Graham Rahal's still out there. It hasn't pitted yet. Yeah. Connor has pitted already, so. Last lap for Power was a 109.9. VK just in front of him at a 10.6.
Well, and to your point, Paul, just watching that Rossi lap time, I think with Power in traffic, it's really helped Rossi, as you pointed out, but the gap now 3/10, but now Power's going to have to slow down just by virtue of catching these slower cars. VK did a 110.6, Ferrucci a 110.9, so Ferrucci holding up the pace a little bit here, has not made his pit stop yet. Got to think he's coming to pit lane real soon.
Stay out.
Yeah, he's
3 more laps.
That was Will Power asking how long are these guys going to stay out. He's now stuck in traffic, and Rossi last time around 109.5, still laying down fast laps. Hinch.
Top 5 cars in the race. Sorry, Hinch. Top 5 cars in the race yet to pit. Take it away.
No, I love this strategy from the 27 crew. This is exactly what they had to do. Graham Rahal's doing it to great effect as well. And the fact that Ferrucci is holding up Will Power in that train, this is the worst case scenario for the 12 guys. He had such a lead coming into this. And remember that when Rossi comes out of the pits, more than likely he's going to be on those softer, faster red sidewall tires, which he won't have to drive for too long with this long stint. He can keep his next two a little bit shorter and nurse those reds. So the 27 guys, the 15, the 88 looking very strong right now.
19-second gap right now, and I think it's probably going to need, with a pit stop and the time down the pit lane, about 25 seconds. But Rossi's guys are getting ready to come.
Firestone biggest movers there on screen. The other thing that's happening is Alexander Rossi's headed for pit road, is Joseph Newgarden is bridging the gap to Will Power as well. James?
Alexander Rossi finally comes into the pits. He exhausted the tires, those black sidewalls, some red Firestones now going on. 18.5 gallons of Speedway fuel, no adjustments to the car. Oh, near contact with his teammate. Colton Herta had to check up. That's really going to hurt his pit stop, but the 27 guys got away okay.
Here we go, look at this. There goes Power, but it's going to be close between Rossi and Newgarden. Check this out.
There goes Newgarden.
Comfortable for Joseph.
There goes Honey Ray. There goes Rossi.
Teammate. So he gained a spot, but really made up some ground. He was about 7 seconds back on Power, but he pulled out right in front of his teammate. I got a question if that could be an unsafe release as well, because he pulled right out into the path of Colton Herta.
So just Rinus VK and Marcus Ericsson, the only 2 yet to stop, including Dalton Kellett. So three drivers yet to see pit lane. Let's have a look at the pit lane incident at Andretti Autosport involving this man, Alexander Rossi, and Colton Herta.
That's pulling out right in front of your teammate. I don't think it gets any worse than that. It didn't allow Colton to get into the box square either. Look at how off center he is. So the fuel hose is stretched all the way out. Colton Herta comes out of the pits and he gets hit by Dixon as well.
That was a lucky escape. There could have been significant damage to the front of Dixon's car. Here's VK finally pitting, so Power goes to the top on the cycle and leads the race again legitimately. 2.9 seconds between Will Power and Joseph Newgarden. VK's going to come back out behind Dixon and Herta, 13th. Might be able to squeeze out ahead of Pato O'Ward. It's going to be close. No, it won't. O'Ward will hold out, so VK comes out in 14th place ahead of Santino Ferrucci in the Sealmaster Honda. He was in the thick of it at the beginning of this race in that Sonax Chevrolet. So Power back up on top. However, Newgarden keeps chipping away at him, just a 10th or 2 here or there. as we get a little bit closer to halfway mark of the first of 2 races in the Honda Indy 200 here at Mid-Ohio. Welcome back. NTT IndyCar Series action here, racing lap 32, teammate battle here, Andretti Autosports. Ryan Hunter-Reay, who finished on the podium here a year ago, Mid-Ohio winner, Alexander Rossi from a few years ago, and they are fighting over 3rd place.
And this is the battle between the fresh blacks and the fresh reds right there with Rossi. And the time to make it work is early on in the stint for Alexander Rossi when those softer compound has plenty of good rubber, Paul. But if Hunter-Reay can hang on, I think the advantage will swing to Hunter-Reay in about 5 to 10 laps.
Quite a different driving style between these two. In the last corner, I noticed Hunter-Reay all day has been kind of running a wide line to get around the big bump that's there, and Rossi is all over the curbs like he was just there. So Rossi trying to keep a tight, tidy line, keep the front wing out in the air, and try to line up Hunter-Reay. But as we come up here with 2 more corners to go, you'll watch the back of Hunter-Reay's car. He runs quite a wide line through this last corner. See, he's kind of way out there, and look at all over the curbs right there, trying to square it up.
Rossi gets a run right here, but then turn 1, the last lap, a big gap opened up for Rossi there with the turbulent air, but Hunter-Reay's way wide there.
Guys, this is a track that the drivers all circle on their calendars for the most physical one of the year. They've got to prepare extra hard coming into this weekend, and the preparation starts in the off-season. You're thinking about Mid-Ohio. The long, fast corners here, we're seeing average laps in qualifying, average laps at 122 miles an hour, 3.6G peak load through turn 1 like we just saw. Only a few big brake opportunities, but then one of the things that makes it so physical is the lack of rest on the straightaways. There's not that many straightaways. That section from turn 4 through to basically the end of the lap, there's almost no rest at all. So the physicality of this race is always one to watch, and the fact these guys have to do it back to back, that's going to be a very tired field of drivers tomorrow afternoon.
Lots of hydration tonight, some good food, some good rest, maybe a massage, and good sleep for sure to get ready for tomorrow's additional 75 laps. Dixon up 8 positions. This guy is incredible. There is no stopping this 5-time champion who's looking at a very tantalizing picture of a 6th championship. Incredible. Just to be 1 title away from Supertech's AJ Foyt. He's got his hands full though with a 2nd-year racer in the Capstone Honda in Colton Herta.
Well, for sure the Reds, Townsend, right now look like they're stronger at this point in the race now than the blacks, but as the run goes on, the Reds seem to fall away, but the track is rubbering up, so maybe that'll equal out. You see here a lot of rubber down at the apex, and the keyhole right there really rubbers up.
So Herta's got 8 laps on his red tires right now, and I think Dixon will probably be looking to stretch this out as far as he can, take short fuel to make it to the end and fresh reds, and he's going to be a rocket ship in that situation with a car weighing a little bit less and a lot of grip available and push to pass available, as Dixon right now has 91 seconds up front. Newgarden probably in the best shape with 143 seconds left to push to pass. So a lot of these guys have had to use the button pretty heavily, and I'm kind of surprised Will Power, he's more than halfway through his push to pass despite running up front the whole time. That must have come in traffic.
Yeah, he was trying to get by that traffic, Kelly, and just use it a little bit to maintain the gap. And right now he's able to just maintain a 5-second gap and not push the tire too hard.
And there was a period of time where his teammate Joseph Newgarden was really gaining on him. The team told Power to push as long as the tires will take it, but then right after that they did tell him to start to conserve on that overtake button. But yeah, he has been working his way through traffic, actually asking the team to help him as he approaches some of those lap cars.
So Power leads by just under 5 seconds. It is 5 seconds right now over teammate Newgarden. Hunter-Reay 3rd, Rossi, and then this man here in the NTT Honda for Chip Ganassi Racing, Felix Rosenquist, the last driver to win on a road course, because we've been in oval space. 5 ovals the last 5 races. Now we begin 5 road and street course races in a row to finish out this 2020 season. Of course, this guy has such happy memories. Well, mixed emotions actually. Happy that he raced so well here. but frustrated that he missed out on that maiden win by just 9/100ths of a second to his teammate Scott Dixon. But this track reminds him of European tracks. He loves it. It suits his driving style. He's looking in the mirrors to see Graham Rahal, who's running in a really nice 6th in that United Rentals Honda. Speaking of the Chip Ganassi Racing organisation, take you back to this. Scott Dixon on the right, and there's Colton Herta on the left. We got some radio on this incident. Watch the contact. Boom.
Yeah, that was weird. It's like you could visibly see Townsend that his car just slowed down quickly.
Could be like an overboost or a misshift or something. It'd be a very strange place to knowingly, wantingly brake check Scott Dixon if you're Colton Herta as you accelerate onto a long back straightaway. So I don't really put that down to anything other than some sort of anomaly that Colton was dealing with.
We need to skip away to a quick break, but when we come back, I think it's going to be pretty interesting between Connor Daly and Scott Dixon. Dixon could go up one more position to 8th. I think he's going to be right there with him, but this man, clear space, clean running. Will Power has led 31 laps today here at Mid-Ohio, en route to maybe his first ever win at this racing venue. NBCSN's coverage of IndyCar is brought to you by Land Rover, above and beyond. NTT, official sponsor and technology partner of the NTT IndyCar Series. And by Progressive. Stay on track with great rates at progressive.com. Back at Mid-Ohio with 39 laps down, 36 to go. And Will Power continues to lead by more than 5 seconds over Team Penske teammate Joseph Newgarden. I want to show you the Progressive lap leaders, and it's just 2. Will Power with 34, and Alexander Rossi, as we saw him when he was stretching on that initial stint, to lead those 5 laps.
About 10 more laps till you pit.
That's the voice of Kyle Moyer, strategist at Team Penske for Will Power. About 10 more laps until you pit.
So 5 seconds seems like a really comfortable lead until you get to this point right here. Dalton Kellett up ahead, trying to hang on. Runs on the lead lap, 1 lap down right now, but doesn't want to go 2 laps down. And then in front of Dalton Kellett, you've got Marco Andretti. He also trying to salvage a result. So this can make Will Power go from 5 seconds to 1 second in a matter of a few laps.
Newgarden over the last race from St. Louis till as we speak right now has carved a significant amount of points out of Scott Dixon's lead. This championship is far from over. It was a nearly 120-point lead, 117, and now down to 78. So Dixon back there racing these young guys hard. Can't afford to get in a situation where he doesn't score good points.
And I need to correct myself. I think Dalton Kellett is on the lead lap, so fighting to stay on the lead lap until this right here.
Not anymore. And the important thing to remember too, to your point, Paul, about points, is that there are no double points at season end at St. Petersburg like in many years past. So it's just normal points all the way through to the end. Hey, this is such a team sport, and these doubleheader weekends are grueling on the team personnel. Considering he's leading, let's give a shout out to the 12 team. Ron Rzuski, who's the strategist for Will Power, Dave Faustino, his longtime engineer, Matt Johnson, the car chief, and he's on the outside front. Daniel Rohr is on the inside front. AJ Rossini, Clay Turner, Blaine Hardy, Eric Crabtree, Adam Jarris, and Chris Wheeler, who is the spotter. Well done, guys. Well done to all the team personnel. They have done such an amazing job in heavy workload periods.
Herta gets a run on Dixon here down the back straightaway. He's been attacking Dixon since they came out of the pits together, and he makes a nice clean pass. So the Reds, look at the brakes glowing on Dixon's car. So that's more points lost for Dixon.
Now Dixon's gonna be dealing with VK as we ride with Rossi, and I think we have a little radio.
You can take the shot. Are you catching Joseph? Yes, just a little bit. It's ultimately all that matters right now. We'll catch Joseph quicker if we work together. Copy.
will catch Joseph quicker if we work together. I think that might mean just let me by, I'll go get him.
Yeah. Well, I think he wants Hunter Ray to pick it up. I think if he got by Hunter Ray, he'd pull away, but he's basically given the signal hinge to tell my teammate to pick it up.
Yeah, it's an easy question to ask. It's a harder one to get answered the way you want. You know, Ryan's out there racing for himself. He needs a podium as well, but the team does have to consider it. Right now with Rossi on the Reds, he would be quicker if he was in clean air and could try to track down those two Penske guys. Well, so maybe some back and forth on the timing stands between the Andretti Autosport crews.
He's right there in front of him. He's only 2 seconds behind Hunter Ray from there's Newgarden right there in front of him, so they are catching him.
And Paul, as the cloud cover continues to thicken above, I've not seen the crossover on the blacks as the track temp is dropping way down. So it really seems like the point you made earlier that the red tire really seems to be the one you want here in the late stages.
Newgarden, Hunter Ray, Rossi.
Rossi's feeling that pressure too from Rosenquist, isn't he?
These guys are all jammed up together here.
So 33 laps to go. That means in the next couple of laps, somebody's going to start coming to pit lane, or multiple people will start coming to pit lane to be the first to make the last stop.
Graham Rahal, very, very positive about Rahal, Letterman, Lanigan's road and street course package, and can finish the championship strong over these closing 5 races. But has anybody got anything for Will Power? He's been in command today. Not content to sit in traffic, Alexander Rossi's pitting, James.
Yeah, he could not get around Ryan Hunter-Ray, could not utilize those red sidewall tires, so he comes in for a fresh set of sticker blacks, and this now puts him in a good position if a yellow comes out. The 27 guys will be praying for that as one of the only lead lap cars that has pitting. You see his teammate Marco Andretti do the same thing in the 98. We'll see where they cycle out. He needs clean air and fast laps now to try to make a jump at the podium.
He's got to get by Marco Andretti.
He's got no clean air. So that is not going to really pan out for him with all those cars leading. He locks up going into turn 1.
Oh no, his teammate's off. Marco's out on the dirt. Marco Andretti in the Surge Air Honda.
Now, if Marco got stuck there,
no problem.
That would be perfect for Rossi, but Marco continues.
Meanwhile, this is Santino Ferrucci running 12th, Chilton 13th, below, behind. Here's the replay up ahead.
Basically followed his teammate almost right off the track. But this traffic, James, up in front, if he catches these guys, they're all coming now, Kelly.
Pit road getting very busy here. I think I see the sign flashing for Simon Pagenaud, Jack Harvey, Felix Rosenquist, and Joseph Newgarden as well. Picks from second. That's Felix Rosenquist there. So it's getting busy down here.
So now Power's in the danger zone. They've got to bring Power in, I think, right now to just protect against
here comes Rossi
a yellow.
Turn 1. Gonna get by his teammate here. He's on hot tires, so he gets by Ryan Hunter-Ray. So he picked up a position there.
Good decision from the 27 team.
And Hunter-Ray's going to have his hands full here with Rosenquist. Cold tires for Hunter-Ray, but still a decent gap.
All right, where's the race leader? Will Power is at this time for the Team Penske pilot. Just to pit to protect himself. If a yellow would have come out, he's done, but he's not. He's in. You really don't have a choice there. You have to react to what the others have done.
4 tires, fuel.
Yeah, just really taking the insurance policy that's available because, as you said, you're totally exposed to a yellow. But for Will Power, been up front all day. All he needs right now is a perfect Penske pit stop, the best in the business. Watch the clock, 6.3, Paul. I don't think anybody's done it faster than that.
Yeah, not only did he didn't need to do anything fancy, no risks on the pit stop, and they still nailed the pit stop. But here comes Dixon coming into the pits.
So Scott Dixon, who has made good work coming from 17th in this race, has been able to pick his way through the field, takes off some black primary, those harder tires, and sticks with black here for what should be their last stint. He works his way side by side with Pato O'Ward.
Beats Pato O'Ward out on that stop. The race off pit road, no problem there. Here's the arrow on board. Wow, look at Dixon's car just snaking on acceleration.
Here comes Connor Daly on hot tires, going to make a run.
And these are points for Dixon if he can hang on, but he's got hard chargers coming.
And he's got Askew on the inside up there at the keyhole. The Arrow McLaren SP teammates are fighting for position.
Askew on hot red tires. He'll probably get him at the end of the straightaway here and be able to outbrake him.
Dixon's a master, though, in these situations.
Made him lift with the over-under. He kind of faded him, but his teammate now is trying to get by Askew.
Oh, and look at Dixon. He's got tire temperature now. What a masterful job to hold on there. That could really make the difference in the championship down the stretch. Those couple points, if Scott Dixon needed them, he earned them right there.
Well, Herta right now is in the lead and going to try to do the overcut on Scott Dixon. He was stuck behind Dixon. The overcut is when you pit later than the guy in front of you, try to pull off some fast laps. Last lap, a 109.8 for Herta. He might be able to jump ahead of him on the pit stop.
So counter to what Colton Herta's trying to do with the overcut, of course, is the undercut. And this is what Alexander Rossi did to get around his teammate Ryan Hunter-Reay that was pitting earlier, get out of the line of traffic, get out there with fresh rubber, lay down some quick lap times while Ryan's out there struggling on older rubber, and it can literally just be as much as one lap, and the difference on those out laps, those in laps can make it. And you saw it was close between the two Andretti Autosport cars when they came out, but the undercut, pitting early, worked to the advantage of Alexander Rossi.
Clear lap for Herta on that one. It was a 10-1 though, so he's not laying down the big laps, but I think he's got a good shot at getting this job done.
For the end. Good job.
Will Power is closing down to 1.7 seconds behind now.
So instruction from the Andretti Harding Steinbrenner pit box, save some of that push to pass until the end. Colton Herta is down to just 34 of his 200 allocated seconds. Guy who's been very conservative has been Santino Ferrucci, Alex Palou. They've still got 130 and 135 seconds.
This has been one of the cleanest races I've seen Will Power do this year. He's so streaky, guys. Like, he's hot or he's super cold and has a lot of bad luck. He's had yellows come out at the wrong time, but he's just been super tidy today.
Well, and full credit to Dave Faustino, his race engineer, who Lee mentioned earlier. The two of them have been together, Will Power and Faustino, for many, many years, going all the way back to KV Racing in the late 2000s. They went over to Penske together, and Faustino has just given Will Power a brilliant handling car here at Mid-Ohio.
Will hasn't seen victory lane since Portland last year, so overdue. It's been a little bit frustrating. Hey, I want to remind you, Sunday at 7 Eastern, Dak Prescott's Cowboys visit Aaron Donald and the Rams, the new home, season premiere of Sunday Night Football. So excited. And be sure to make your Sunday Night 7 picks on the NBC Sports Predictor app with a $100,000 jackpot every contest. Guys, did you watch, as we show you what's coming up tomorrow, did you watch the opening night of football?
You bet I did.
Texans Chiefs, that was awesome.
But to watch the Rams play their first game in the new SoFi Stadium will be pretty wild, along with that pass that somebody made on Ferrucci. That's Pato Award that we're riding on board with.
Efficient overtake on the back. Gray one, efficient overtake.
I've been racing and flying across the country all week, and when you land in LA and look at that stadium, it is something else. It's been described as the absolute biggest, baddest thing in the NFL. As Colton Herta is trying to be the biggest, baddest guy today at Mid-Ohio, and we'll see where he cycles out as he comes to James Hinchcliffe on pit lane.
And he pits from the lead. As we explained, he's going for the overcut. He's going to get those Firestone reds off the car. He's putting on a set of primary blacks, a little bit of scuff on those tires. Nice clean stop for the 88 crew. Let's see where he shakes out.
I think he's going to be racing Jack Harvey, who's in that pink car, AutoNation Sirius XM car, but it looks like Harvey will have the advantage. Those scuff tires for Colton Herta, an advantage on the outlap to just have the newness, the slickness of a new tire scuffed up.
Well, I think he got Dixon by a long way. Look at this. This is panned out, but here comes Rosenquist, has got the run. Rossi has taken off. Rossi is all over the back now.
Oh, thread the needle for Rosenquist.
Going outside, turn 4. Hunter-Reay on the inside. Rosenquist tried to push his way through there to have the inside for 5 on top of the hill, couldn't get it done.
Hunter-Reay taking a page out of Scott Dixon's notebook from last season when Dixon held off this hard-charging Swede Rosenqvist in the closing laps. Both on black tires, so level set on tire compound.
I'll take you back and listen to some Ryan Hunter-Reay radio. Here it is.
Really struggling for grip on this set. 10-4. Unfortunately, we got to go the distance. We got 25 to go right now.
So his teammate Rossi has taken off on him. He's closed the gap to Newgarden. He is right on the back of Newgarden now. Hunter-Reay is hanging on for grip and under attack.
Meanwhile, up front, with 23 laps to go, look at Will Power's lead. He's grown it out to 7.1 seconds over teammate Newgarden.
So Dixon now has been pushed down to 12th. He lost to Daly and Palou on that pit stop exchange.
And so as they run right now, Dixon would be 75 points ahead of Joseph Newgarden with 4 races to go. That doesn't seem insurmountable at all.
And again, no double points at the season finale. You know who else did well, guys, on that pit stop rotation is Ed Carpenter Racing's Rinus VeeKay. He is 9th, and teammate Connor Daly 10th. So good work for the ECR Chevrolets.
Yeah, Herta moved it up to 8th from 10th. So Harvey still hanging inside the top 10 in 7th. We haven't seen much of him all day. He's just been racing his own race and just staying up there pretty close to where he started.
And Jack Harvey is slotted in 7th in that AutoNation Sirius XM Honda for Meyer Shank Racing, which happens to be Jack's best result this year. He's done it twice. They were looking to get a top 5 here at their home race. Big moment for Mike Shank here at home in Ohio. We'll see what his guy Jack Harvey can do. Can he do anything about this guy, Felix Rosenqvist, who's 1 position ahead? NBCSN's coverage of IndyCar is brought to you by Liberty Mutual Insurance. Only pay for what you need. Firestone, drive the tire that drives IndyCar legends. And by Honda, an official vehicle of the NTT IndyCar Series. As we welcome you back to the Honda Indy 200 here at Mid-Ohio. Beautiful shot provided by Geico, the aerial coverage showing you the Mid-Ohio sports car course. Just beautiful here. Well done to promoters Green Savory, Kim Green, Kevin Savory, along with everybody, Roger Penske, Mark Miles from IndyCar, the governor of Ohio. Everybody involved to make this happen because it was touch and go, to be honest, and it was a late call to advance it and to allow some 6,000 fans here. So applauding everybody involved, all of the entities that were working together to make this happen, as Colton Herta on the left there in the Capstone Honda tries to get by rookie Dalton Kellett and does so at the keyhole. Good work there. And we will be back tomorrow for 75 more laps. Can't wait for that. And you'll see that on NBC. Here comes Rinus VeeKay on a fellow rookie.
Oh boy, these guys all raced Indy Lights together. Look at this!
On the bottom,
each other.
another one.
Look at this! What a move!
Both of them unbelievable.
Yeah, that's Road America all over again. What he did in the carousel, he just whipped around the outside. He just whipped around the outside of Colton Herta. These two had words at the last race, and VeeKay feels he's winning this battle.
VeeKay gives it a big old hoot on the radio, as he should. That was spectacular stuff. The Road America pass was on the opening lap. This is well into the stint over one of the most exciting young drivers in IndyCar in Colton Herta. That was phenomenal.
And that was for 8th place for Rinus VeeKay. Nice work in the Sonax Chevy.
The youth movement is real. This is the future of IndyCar, these young guys right here. If you're worried about when these guys are retiring, the old guys like Dixon, and we got Jimmy Johnson coming into the sport, they're going to have to battle these guys.
Watch this. So I think Colton Herta is watching Dalton Kellett and is completely surprised by VeeKay. As Herta's blocking Kellett to the inside, VeeKay just appears out of nowhere and fires it down into the outside on the high line. Little wiggle at the exit, and now he's settling in and gone.
He got shot out of a cannon.
He felt that was exhilarating. It was an awesome move.
Dalton Kellett hanging tough with these guys.
Kellett's a lap down, as is Marco Andretti and Charlie Kimball. Zach Veach is the last on the lead lap in the Gamebridge Honda. 17 laps to go on a beautiful afternoon, evening here in Lexington, Ohio. We are about halfway between Columbus and Cleveland.
And this could be the biggest risk to Scott Dixon today. Dalton Kellett looking a little squirrely, a little hard to get around for a guy that's a lap down in these closing laps. And I think Dixon's probably watching and studying and is going to want to make a really high percentage move as Pato O'Ward gets crossed up in the final corner.
All the moves Dixon made in the first few laps, he worked his way from 17th up to about where he is right now, and he's really just kind of been stuck there. Points gap closes again now down to 75 points, so it just keeps shrinking.
Dixon working on Dalton Kellett. This should be fairly straightforward. Around the outside.
Making him go the high line, Paul.
Still there.
Dalton Kellett, rookie this year, came up from Indy Lights, born and raised in Canada. And people said, maybe he's not ready, but he's got some speed.
And he's enjoyed this season. He's learned a lot. First Indy 500 as well. It's been a big year for the Canadian. It's been a big passage for the United Rentals Honda of Graham Rahal, who spoke very confidently, as I mentioned earlier, about the RLL Road and Street Course package, buoyed by several podiums this year. And Graham is ready for results. He's putting the pressure on Alexander Rossi big time for a podium spot here at his home race hinch. This is good stuff from Rahal.
It's phenomenal, and he's been kind of quiet, guys. He started 8th, but he's been picking guys off. He did the overcut on that last pit stop, ran longer than the cars in front, and he actually wanted to run longer. I spoke to someone from the team. He said they got stuck in traffic behind Pagenaud, maybe even accusing them a little bit of gamesmanship, not wanting him to get too close to Newgarden, but he's definitely got this number 15 United rental car on pace. We saw how quick Rossi was once he got around Ryan Hunter-Reay, and he is all over his gearbox. So a great run into the top 5 for the Ohio native.
Both of these guys want a podium as Dalton Kellett battling with Pato O'Ward at the end of the back straightaway. Alex Palou around the outside. Great action all over the racetrack today. Don't forget to tune in tomorrow because it's even going to get more wild.
I think Kellett might be racing these guys just a little too hard. Everybody's made their final stops. It's clean, but it's been close several times to contact.
So Rahal, hometown race, working to try to get a podium, wrangled away from Alexander Rossi. Rossi needs a podium. They're both chasing down Newgarden.
So looking at push to pass, Graham has 84 seconds left, Rossi 57 seconds, so advantage Rahal in the closing laps. There you see on your left-hand side, Power 51, Newgarden 81.
And they definitely want, the Rahal Letterman Lanigan organization definitely wants both cars in the top 5 at season's end. Takuma Sato is 4th in the championship at the moment. Graham is 7th. So that is nowhere near unrealistic. It's highly achievable to have both of them in there. And you know what? Some positivity from not only Bobby Rahal, but many team owners talking about expansion. Bobby said earlier this week that if the time is right, the situation is right, that he'd be open to expanding to a 3rd car team. Same with Sam Schmidt at Arrow McLaren SP.
Well, they did such a great job at Indianapolis with all of their cars. They added a 3rd car there. All 3 cars very competitive, winning the race with Sato. But right now, Graham Rahal, 7th in points, trying to move his way into the top 5. Rossi runs a little bit wide there. Tires are going away. 14 laps to go now, long way to go. And you can see Graham Rahal's working that steering wheel.
Well, you can tell that he's really trying to make his advantage on the brakes here on Rossi. Tends to catch up a little bit. Rossi focusing on exit speed and really laying the power on as smooth as possible. As Connor Daly continues a great run today, running 10th.
It's going to be 13 and a half long laps defending that top 10 spot.
Clear.
From Scott Dixon as he gets by the Traceva
Good job.
Chevrolet of Charlie Kimball.
It's a big gap from this group to Jack Harvey. It's about 5-6 seconds, and then Harvey is actually closed down on Rosenquist. Now these guys are just battling each other.
Charlie Kimball being very cool there with O'Ward and Dixon. Connor Daly helping these guys that are on the lead lap have a race in the closing laps. 13 to go.
look up front, Will Power, 8.5 seconds. Here he is in the Verizon Chevy. Just a really comfortable advantage over his teammate. He's been in control for 53 laps of the race so far. And just, if he can just maintain this and be calm, there's no immediate pressure. Good strategy call, good driving. Kept a cool head when he was stuck behind cars that needed to come to pit road that he couldn't get by. So it's been a really well-constructed race from Will Power, who notched up his 60th
Great job, 12 to go.
pole position earlier today. He's only 7 poles away from Mario Andretti, Kel.
And Will Power was almost in disbelief because he wasn't sure yet if it was number 60. So when I told him yes, he just said, I can't believe it. And he said just what you pointed out. Mario Andretti, the all-time record holder in pole wins, 67. And he said, if I could be the all-time pole winner, that would be something else. He talked about his season being hot and cold. He was hot when I talked to him at the Indy 500. But not because of his performance. He was fired up on missed opportunities by this team. He said he feels like he has had the car to beat on a number of occasions this season, but they just haven't executed, whether it's on pit road or on track or cautions that have just fallen at the wrong time. So he was fired up, but he said it just comes from a place of passion. We work so hard. We want the results to show for it. So we'll see what this win, if he can hold on for another 12 laps, can do for him moving forward as we close out the season.
I'll tell you what, guys, there's some big black clouds showing up. And if it rained, that would change everything. It's not unlike it here to pop up a shower, just pop up out of nowhere, but there's some real dark clouds out there.
That meteorology report brought to you by Paul Tracy, 2003 IndyCar champion. It's a good observation, PT, because it
no stranger to stormy weather.
Paul, your response?
I don't even have one. I don't even have one.
That's where you like to live, in the heart of the storm. Just looking at fastest laps of the race, and how about this?
Pato, yeah.
By 6/10, Pato Award, who's never raced in IndyCar at Mid-Ohio, has at least that to hang his hat on today.
That stall, I think, really hurt him on the pit stop. I think he would have been battling BK Harvey if that wouldn't have happened. But he's got his work cut out for him to get by Dixon. Dixon has kind of pulled away from him now. Gotten a gap.
I like the response on social media. Several people suggesting in the wake of the news of Sebastian Vettel going to Racing Point in Formula One and taking Sergio Perez's ride. A lot of people on social media pointing out, hey, why not come to IndyCar and maybe slot in alongside your countryman here at Arrow McLaren SP in a third car. That'd be pretty exciting to see Checo here.
Well, Perez has such a reputation in Formula One for being a master of taking care of tires, and I think in a scenario like this at Mid-Ohio, that's clearly a strength you're going to need. As Rahal again, it seems like the only way he can get close in that dirty air is firing it in deep into the keyhole, but then loses all the exits. So just trying to put pressure and see if he can't force Rossi into some kind of a mistake. But Graham's looking very racy with 10 to go.
Back to Checo. It'll be awesome to see him come here now. You know, IndyCar racing has been so popular in Mexico with the Mexican fans. We used to race there all the time, and Adrian Fernandez, big hero to all the Mexican fans. It'll be great to see more Mexicans involved in the sport. Car dropped the wheel off there.
I don't think that was Rossi. I think that might have been Newgarden that made the big dust cloud. Rossi went through the cloud.
Little lap traffic up there.
Zach Veach. And I'll bet Veach is maybe going to try to help out Rossi a little bit here if he can, make it as difficult as possible for Newgarden to get by. If he can hang on here past the keyhole, you might get Rossi. Now he's going to let him go here.
This is where the race came undone for Joseph Newgarden. Right here on the last lap last year, he was headed for a top 5 and he ended up finishing 14th. Spun there to the left, went out in the grass and the dirt while trying to attack Ryan Hunter-Reay. Today has been a lot more composed. Here we go, Rahal on Rossi.
Rahal gets a run down the outside. He gets squeezed by Rossi. Has to try to square him up and go for the outside.
And Graham hang on the high side. No, he's going to cut back low and then try to cut back low again here if he can. Awfully difficult to make a move through there.
Tell you what, this second place is no guarantee for Joseph Newgarden. There's still 8.5 laps to run here. And the television lens, the camera lens, always makes things look a little brighter than what it is. I'm looking out our announce booth window. It is getting dark here at Mid-Ohio.
My crystal ball on the weather was clear to quite clear, I think.
Let's go down to another Canadian weatherman. Hinch, what do you know? What do you feel out there?
I don't think anybody knows anything, but there's definitely a lot of worried faces here up and down pit lane. It's getting darker, it's getting cooler, the wind is picking up, and we still have 8 laps to go, guys. I don't know if this is going to hold off. It's going to be very close.
This is the fight for the final step on the podium. Rossi wants another trophy. It's been such a terrible year for him. Getting coached along from his team manager, Rob Edwards, Graham's all over the back of him.
Paul Graham still has 20 seconds to the good on push to pass, 63 seconds to Rossi's 43.
Whoa.
There you see it.
Rossi just lit it up there. Big black lines off the top of turn 5. This man here owns the only podium for the entire Andretti Autosport organization this year. Isn't that difficult to comprehend? It's been a struggling year. It's been a year of struggle for Andretti Autosport. So to pump up the team and get him another podium here today at Mid-Ohio would go a long way for Michael Andretti and his team.
You just blew my mind with that fact.
225,
that is phenomenal.
6 down at the bottom.
As strong as they've run in several places.
They were so
many issues, so many problems.
Such a strong effort at Indianapolis. I mean, the whole team was really good. Runs fairly wide at the keyhole there. Graham Rahal couldn't capitalize on that, but you know, the road courses and street courses for this team has really been a struggle this year.
Which is so surprising because you think back the last couple of years how dominant Rossi was at a track like Road America or the Long Beach Grand Prix. And is that moisture?
It sure looks like it.
Told you, didn't I?
At home in California, that's smoke right now, but that definitely looks like rain.
And guys, Alexander Rossi on the radio to his team saying, hey, which engine map has a softer throttle pedal? I need to take care of these rear tires. So he's getting some coaching from the stand on which map to be in on his steering wheel to try to take care of these rear tires as he's being hounded by Graham Rahal.
Well, this could get wild here at the end. And Townsend, you know, when it rained at Elkhart Lake for your race and it came down and you were on slicks, it was a disaster at the end.
Undrivable.
Well, it was that. It was, you know.
Listen, when you crash on the in-lap.
But you won the race.
I did win.
You won the race.
But I couldn't make it on the in-lap as Graham Rahal is going to try to make it happen. He's got push to pass in the bag. This could be his moment.
Little bit of water on the camera too, but he just didn't get the drive off the corner, but it's drafting up now.
And he's pushing Rossi to drive as hard as he can. Turn 4, Newgarden up in the distance there. This is where Rossi lit it up on the last lap here, launching off this blind corner, and that's a lot smoother. Better power delivery there. This is what he did last lap. Check this out. It's like drifting. Here we go.
Striping it.
The rain is looming.
Oh man, can you imagine if the skies open up and now you're tempted to stay out on slicks?
Hearing reports from the pits that the teams are going searching for the wet weather Firestones.
Oh, Rossi just had another big moment there in the final corner. Totally hanging on to the bull right now. 5 to go.
Remember when Graham Rahal won here back in 2015? He said it was the greatest moment of his driving career. To win here at a track that is so synonymous with the Rahal family name. His dad, Bobby, won here in the 80s a couple of times. He basically grew up here. Such a special place, and there he had all family and friends, and to win, he said that was the best. He said I could talk about various other things, but that was the best for me. It was such a magical moment in my life. Here he is fighting for a podium. It'd be his 4th podium of the year.
Graham is really strong on the brakes into turn 2, but just can't capitalize in getting the power down and getting it squared up to get the drive off the corner.
Well, you're picking
Rossi,
up.
big sideways, laying down more tracks. Rossi's tires, rear tires are gone now.
Spent.
Will Power is just on cruise control right now. He's built up a 9-second lead. The battle for the podium is right here. We've got 4 cars. Hunter Ray is now closing this gap down to these guys.
Rossi looks like a World of Outlaws car through turn 1. Totally hanging on. I could read Napa on the side pod from Graham's onboard.
You up here at the entry at 2. Be mindful of that and try and get a run off.
Coaching from the pit box. Just trying to hang in there. 3.5 laps to go.
Trust me. Oh, wait till you drive the wheels off the thing. Keep going.
Words of encouragement at such a vital time. These guys are tired. At this pace, 75 laps around here is hard work, knowing that you've got to do it all again tomorrow.
Oh, Graham just had a big moment there and got wide, it looked like.
It's built a nice little gap now. Might be enough to hang on for the next lap and a half, 2 laps. See, that gap is kind of doubled in size. I think Graham now has worn his tires off, trying so hard to get by, but back to Will Power. Now he's out to an 8-second lead.
3 to go. This is just management now for him, and hoping that the heavens don't open up over these closing 3 laps. But boy, we got lucky to squeeze it in. Well, it's not over yet, but Newgarden has been in second for the majority of the race. Really important day for him, championship points-wise. Shaving 20-odd points off Scott Dixon was important, and he knew that he could stay in this if there was some adversity on the Dixon side of it, and he capitalized on that, and so far, so good.
Picture perfect day so far.
I mean, it's really spectacular, Paul, when you look at the handling of this Verizon car compared to all the drivers right now struggling. You just see the thing is on rails. Just really excellent setup, great tire management from Power. He's making it look so easy with so many laps on the tires right now.
Not one mistake at all day. When he does races like this, he builds big leads.
When you're wired like this guy is, Will Power is one of the most intense athletes you could ever meet. He puts so much expectation on himself. He demands so much from himself. And when you haven't won in a season that's now in its 10th race, that's just not normal for him. So this is going to bring much relief.
A little bit of water on the camera. Still got 2 laps to go.
You're working that weather. You were willing it to the ground.
He didn't do that when he was a driver. Ron Rzuski there on the box for Will Power. That's been another thing that we've had to get used to this year, not hearing the voice of the captain, Roger Penske, talking to Will from the pit box. Of course, now is the owner of the series and the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Doesn't walk around with a Team Penske shirt on, walks around the race meets with an NTT IndyCar Series shirt on. So Will Power has just over 2 miles to go before he finally cracks the win here at Mid-Ohio. 1 to go.
All right, man, hit your marks. 1 to go.
On day 1 of this doubleheader weekend, the Honda Indy 200.
Everything, there's his wife, worried. She's got the water bottle crunched up in her hand, but everything behind Power is kind of stabilized. Ray Hall's kind of lost ground to Rossi. Newgarden's got to get a small gap to Rossi, so these guys are going to need to get ready for tomorrow because we do it all again tomorrow.
Will's used the ice bath approach before, earlier this year on the doubleheader weekends. Here goes Dixon on Daly. That's for a top 10.
And then Daly's got a hit, pulled off Pato Award. And Pelot's going to make a move as well.
Here we go. They're all swamping Connor Daly, who's obviously got troubles.
Pelot is going to make a move on Pato here. Pato sliding off the corner. This is going to get wild.
Neither of these guys will want to relinquish their respective positions. Meanwhile, the 39-year-old Australian Will Power is bringing it home. He has never won at Mid-Ohio, but Will Power is now a Mid-Ohio winner. Finally, he does it for his 38th career win. Moves into the top 6 all time.
Good job, great strategy. Awesome.
Great job, great strategy. That was a very Team Penske Will Power kind of day. It's a Team Penske 1-2 with Joseph Newgarden. Alexander Rossi hung on with that car going left and right, stepping out everywhere. He did a good job. So too did Graham Rahal and Ryan Hunter-Reay home in the top 5. But it's the Verizon Chevy of Will Power to ensure that all 3 Team Penske drivers have now been victorious in 2020. We will be back tomorrow to do it all again. 75 laps in the second leg of the doubleheader weekend. That's at 1. Then there's Stanley Cup playoffs coming your way, Lightning and Islanders. Football night in America at 7, and then Cowboys-Rams from that new stadium in LA at 8:30 on Sunday Night Football. So a lot to look forward to. The rain has arrived just in time. We got it done, and a reminder, Cup Series racing coming up. NASCAR Cup Series playoffs continue, and that's from Richmond. That's when we are done here. Time to hear from the race winner.
So Will Power finally picks up his first win of 2020. He said over the radio that it took a while, boys, but we did it in his 12th effort here at Mid-Ohio. Will, you finally get it done, but perhaps more importantly, you guys just put together a complete race. It looked flawless. What does that do for this team moving forward?
Oh, it's great. You know, we've had a pretty trying year. Obviously, everyone has. I mean, the circumstances are very tough with COVID and all the social distancing that we have to do, but the fact that we're out here racing and we have some fans is fantastic. I mean, that's what we love to do. We love to entertain. Obviously, we love to drive, and yeah, so happy to have the Verizon 12 car in victory lane. And that's probably the first race, I reckon, in about 10 years that I've just gone hard. Like every other race, I save fuel and we try to play a strategy game. Today, I just said, let's just go hard, man. Screw this. We don't want to get caught by a yellow, or let's just run hard and use my raw pace and see what happens, and we won the race, so it was a great strategy.
Yeah, you made it look so easy, but behind the wheel, were there any moments that kind of got your heart rate up?
No, it's just putting down good laps after lap after lap, and I get to someone I had to lap and get past, and I'd push hard, and just a flawless day, you know. It's what you got to do to win races in this series, and the whole team did a fantastic job, and see Verizon in victory lane again is fantastic because it's been a while.
A couple of milestones today, 60th career pole, second all time. You also pick up your first win here at the Mid-Ohio. What does it mean to kind of be checking some of these boxes and moving up on the all-time wins list as well?
It's just great to tick the Mid-Ohio box. Like, I have finished on the podium here 5 times, been on the front row, I think we counted like 9 times, and finally converted one, so absolutely over the moon.
Well, the good news is you get to come back here and do it again tomorrow. How do you prepare? This is a very physical course between tonight and an early start tomorrow.
Yeah, definitely have an ice bath and a bit of massage, and then try sleep. You know, it's hard to get the old ticker to stop.
Sure.
The old brain from stop ticking over, you know, when you've executed like 75 hard laps, but we'll be right. Everyone's in the same boat. I'm pretty fit and feel good.
All right, well, your team's here. Your wife, Liz, is here as well, so go celebrate. Congratulations to Will Power.
Finally getting it done. There's Tim Cindric, president of Team Penske, and wife Liz in the background. Ron Rzuski there. Isn't that great to hear him say, I just went flat out. I just went for it. Just pushed hard the entire way. Liz has been around racing a long, long time. She knows what that's all about. She lives the highs and lows. And this is a great day, even with a mask kiss.
Will Power gets
so this is the checkered flag moment brought to you by Advanced Auto Parts, and the moment that Will Power has been waiting some 12 years for, 12 tries here, I should say. Getting that checkered flag moment with thanks to Advanced. Seeing those twin checkers first is always a delight. He becomes the 6th different winner in this 2020 season. How about the guy who finished runner-up? I think more importantly than runner-up, Hinch, it's big for Joseph Newgarden in the points.
Yeah, it certainly is. As the rain starts to fall here in pit lane, and Joseph Newgarden just said off camera, hey, that would have been fun if we had that on track. But Joseph, you started 3rd, you finished 2nd. It looked pretty straightforward from the outside, but how was it for you inside the 1 car?
Yeah, it was a pretty, like he said, straightforward day. You know, kind of where we started is where we finished. Luckily to get by Ryan right at the start, but man, we missed the chaos. This would have been amazing, right, if this came 10 minutes sooner. I don't know that I wanted this necessarily. I don't know if it would have made a difference for us today, but it sure would have been fun to watch. But first off, congrats to Will. Unbelievable job. You know, he is still Will Power. Okay, I feel like he was knocked down a little bit this year. He's had some tough times, but he drove really well. That was a clinic he put on, so I'm really happy for him. I wish we could have been a little bit better. I think we were a couple tenths slower today each lap. You know, and I could kind of tell all race that I was fighting for second, and I just did what I could. But, you know, Team Chevy, obviously a great job, 1-2 for us, so super proud of that. And always having PPG here in Mid-Ohio is a great sign for us.
Big chunk of points out of the lead of Scott Dixon you did today. Like you say, you've got a race under your belt now. What changes are you going to make tomorrow? How can you make the #1 car a little bit better and try and increase that gap again?
Yeah, we just need to be a little sportier than we were. You know, I think in the beginning we were kind of ebbing and flowing with Will. I'd get a little bit better, he'd get a little bit worse, and then he'd start pulling out a gap. I think if we can pick up 2 tenths a lap, we can probably race with him. So I'm looking forward to trying to find out what we need for tomorrow. But we picked up some good points, like you said. 1 step higher would have been a really good difference. So we're going to try and make that happen tomorrow.
And speaking of tomorrow, you said, I mean, we talked about it earlier in the show, this is one of the most physical races in the calendar. It's the one the drivers circle in their preseason. This is what we got to prepare for. You've done 75 laps. You've got 75 more, plus a qualifying tomorrow. How do you feel, and how are you going to feel at the end of another race?
Man, I was tired after the first practice, which just shows the physical level of this track. You know, an hour and 15 minutes here is pretty tough. So yeah, to do a full race like this, obviously it was 15 laps shorter, but still a long distance. You get up tomorrow and try and qualify. The intensity that you need in qualifying, I mean, you have to get up on the wheel to really get the most out of it here. So that's going to be really physical. And then to try and put together another 75 lap race without making mistakes. I just wish it came through a little bit better how difficult it is. These things are so hard to drive. They're so physical, and everyone up and down pit lane here is working hard. So tomorrow's going to be double the pressure.
Well, a strong day points-wise for Joseph Newgarden. He gets another shot at it tomorrow. Kelly.
The skies have most certainly opened, so Alexander Rossi being the perfect gentleman here holding the umbrella, I really appreciate that. The second podium of the season for you, Alex. I know it's been a really tough year, not just for you guys, but for Andretti Autosport as a whole. How big is this at the beginning of a doubleheader?
Yeah, it's good. I mean, we just haven't had a lot of things go our way, and I don't think we've had luck, but we really haven't had pace either. So we're just really trying to go out and just make the most of each opportunity we have for the rest of this year. And the 27 Napa Auto Nation and Andretti Honda guys did a great job. You know, the car was good. I think had we been able to clear Ryan a bit sooner and then get Joseph, I think we could have had a shot at it. I thought the car's pace was really good, but regardless, it wasn't meant to be. Starting P6, it was always going to be a little bit of a challenge, but nonetheless, it was a good day for us, and we get to do it all over again tomorrow.
We saw some great scrapping between you and Graham Rahal. It's his home track. We know how badly he wants to win here, or podium here, I should say. How did you hold him off?
Yeah, it was tough. I mean, we did the undercut there on the last stint, so we had to save a bit of fuel, and he didn't. So we had to make him burn his push to pass, and just it was really the key thing was being good in turn 2 and just getting the exit out to turn 4. So we were able to do that, and the car was great, like I said. So it allowed me to save the fuel that we needed to. Unfortunately, it's not a win yet, but like I said, we have another shot at it tomorrow.
All right, a podium result here for Alexander Rossi. Thank you, Alex.
And tracking in the right direction for sure. Last podium came in the second leg of the doubleheader at Road America. That's what it's all about. Family support, love, and it helps with success. Ah, that's nice. A rainbow above the Mid-Ohio racetrack. And there's the podium men, Will Power, Joseph Newgarden, Alexander Rossi. And as they get ready to celebrate with a little bit of rainfall here in Ohio, we wanted to show you the Children's Miracle Network moment of the race. And I think it was a miracle that he didn't go off and do a little bit of grass tracking. Rinus VK, the now 20-year-old rookie from the Netherlands, puts this move on Colton Herter. Awesome. And that got a big yahoo from the cockpit on the radio. That was the Children's Miracle Network moment of the race. That was the move of the race for sure. Another guy who put on some pretty slick moves was Graham Rahal. He's with Hinch.
Yeah, Graham, an impressive run from 8th on the grid up to 4th, just off the podium, but a strong run for the number 15 car. How do you feel after the day?
Yeah, you know, I mean, it feels good to get a good result after St. Louis, which was kind of a bruiser, but our United Rentals guys did a great job in the pits. Pit stops are fast, strategy was good. You know, we were right there in contention. Thought our car's a little bit better than Rossi and Newgarden, but just difficult, you know, difficult to get by and play the fuel game and everything else, but, you know, it is what it is.
it seemed like for a track that's always touted as one very tough to pass on, there was still a lot of on-track action today. Did you find a lot of wheel-to-wheel battles?
Yeah, tons. And, you know, I gave Alex as much as I could here coming across the stripe. But honestly, I think tomorrow, too, there's going to be even more. You know, we talked about it off air, but guys are going to fall out of the saddle tomorrow. That's physical. I mean, it is hot. There's not a lot of air. It's dirty. And, you know, tomorrow is going to be a bruiser. We switch over to the fifth third bank car tomorrow. So we're excited about that switch over. Raise a lot of money for Turns for Troops today. But I think tomorrow's going to be a great day, and hope everybody tunes in on NBC.
All right, so you're obviously going to be trying to make the car a little bit better as you switch over to the fifth third car, make it a little bit better, try to get that podium, and then where's the party on Sunday night, local?
You know, there isn't one, Hinch. I think I might.
We'll go to your house.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a house in Columbus, but we'll find somewhere to go.
Fair enough. All right, guys, Graham Rahal just off the podium, but happy with a strong result.
That's a really interesting point and a valid point, too, when you hear it from one of the drivers to say, I think some of my peers will fall out of the saddle. They will be physically exhausted tomorrow, and that's going to take its toll. We will see. It's certainly worth getting excited about to see tomorrow's second leg, Kelly, of this doubleheader weekend here at Mid-Ohio.
Sure will. Hard to believe, Lee, that it's just a second top 5 finish on the season for Ryan Hunter-Reay, but promising. Looked quick there in qualifying. To come away with this top 5, how promising is that as you kick off the doubleheader?
Yeah, we were just missing a little bit of grip there, which is unfortunate. Just sliding around all day, especially that last stint. But you know, close. Just missed it on the pit cycle there with the 27. Just came out just behind him, and then I was just fighting it out with Rosenquist from there. No idea how Rahal got up there, so it obviously was through the pit stop cycle. But yeah, Rosenquist and I had some good battles, but we need to do some things to the car for tomorrow because I was skating around out there for sure. Hopefully we can get this 28 DHL up front tomorrow.
Yeah, what will that process be like? Because you don't get a practice tomorrow. It's just another short qualifying session and game on again.
Yeah, you're just going to have to kind of risk it, you know, try and find something for a little bit more mechanical grip. Going through the keyhole, turn 2, every lap was like, well, this will be interesting. Let's see if I can make it through here without getting big snap oversteer. So it was challenging out there today, no doubt. Big thing now is that we have to make some changes, I think, to go forward tomorrow. But we got another shot at it, which is a good thing.
Big picture, have you been able to keep your heads up and the heads up of the guys' team as a whole? It's been a tough go for Andretti Autosport.
Yeah, it's been one thing or another, you know, yeah, in those times it ebb and flows, and in those times you just got to keep your head down, know that you can get it done, and you know, we're pulling 100%, so we'll see. Hopefully tomorrow we can make it happen.
Oh, we'll see you then. Thank you.
Thank you.
And the really important thing, I think, today too, guys, is that there were no cars significantly damaged. That would cause a really late night for the teams. There is a 10 p.m. curfew, so there won't be people working into the early hours of the morning. All right, the unofficial results, and it's a season equaling best by Alexander Rossi and Jack Harvey with their 3rd and 7th places respectively. Obviously, Will Power to season best for him. And Rinus VeeKay with that spectacular move, and he slides into 8th there. It's a very interesting looking first page of the results.
It is. I mean, Dixon 10th at Mid-Ohio on a day where qualifying was straight up, just was beat, frankly, in qualifying, and then comes home 10th with no chance to get creative with any yellows. So this is the 3rd year in a row that this thing has run green from start to finish.
I tell you what, it was cruise control for Will Power, but it was hard racing all the way through the field, and especially that group from 3rd to about 10th. These guys were just battling from green to checkered, Hinch.
Yeah, and I'm sitting with one of those guys that had a lot of battles on track. Rinus VeeKay, you started 10th. You fell back a little bit in the first stint, and then, man, a lot of fun battles to watch to get the way back up to 8th place.
Yeah, it was a tough race. It's really sketchy out there. I think we had a good strategy, and yeah, I was kind of struggling in the first part. Yeah, kind of finding a way to get by Marco, and really struggled with that. But once I got it, I remembered what to do, and yeah, then I got around Colton and
yeah. Talk us through this. This was a cool move here.
Yeah, I thought he was going to be busy with Dalton, and then I thought, well, let's do it. There's a lot of grip on the outside and make it stick, and yeah, that was awesome.
Another great result moves you even further ahead in the Rookie of the Year championship. You got to be feeling pretty good heading into the last few races of the season.
Yeah, we really we're getting better and better all the time, and yeah, I'm just looking forward to keep this momentum going, and I can't wait for tomorrow.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Rinus VeeKay. Again, great top 10 result for the number 21 Sonax car.
All right, so at the end of the 10th round of this year's championship, points now look like this. So 4 races remaining, and Scott Dixon with a 76-point advantage in the overall championship. In the rookie standings, Rinus VeeKay remains on top. See if he can stay there over the closing 4 races. That one's going to be interesting as well. Back in a moment. For those of you turning on for NASCAR Cup Series action from Richmond, we'll get you there real soon. We're just wrapping up here from the NTT IndyCar Series at Mid-Ohio, where Will Power was victorious for the first time at this track and the first time this year. So a good day for Team Penske as far as Will Power is concerned. Time to hear from some more drivers. Kelly?
A 6th place finish today for Felix Rosenqvist, and at times, Felix, you were kind of in the hornet's nest. A pretty good result, so how hungry does that have you to get going again tomorrow?
Yeah, it was a good result. You know, starting 7th, finished 6th. I think, you know, it's always decent points, you know. I mean, there were times we probably could have gained a few positions, you know. Last pit stop, I kind of screwed up on my pit exit. I had a lot of fighting with Ryan and also with Alexander, and I just couldn't. I mean, there were so many times I had moves like that, and it almost worked out. And you know, once you get one, that can make a huge impact on the race. But anyways, it was, you know, we'll take it. P6 is a good comeback from, you know, a couple of tough races, and yeah, let's see tomorrow. You know, I think we have good speed in the car, especially in quali, and quali seems to be really important here. So yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Well, how inclined are you to make any changes if you have the speed that you're talking about overnight?
Yeah, I think definitely for the race we need to make a few changes. There were a couple of cars around me that were definitely quicker. Like Graham was super quick. I just couldn't keep him behind me. I think we were probably better than that Andretti's, and then obviously Power was checking out. So yeah, definitely something to improve. But end of the day, I think we had a good race today.
All right. Felix Rosenqvist feeling pretty optimistic for tomorrow's race. Hinch.
And the top 10 for the 88 Capstone Honda with Colton Herta. I just wanted to sit down and have a little break here. It was a tough day out there, man. So tell us a little bit about your race, and then how do you think it's going to be tomorrow?
Yeah, I think it was very tough today. I think it'll be very tough tomorrow. Overall, you know, I think a good little bit of a recovery drive. I think we could have done a little bit better. Got a little held up in the pits there, but no big deal. I think, you know, I just got to put it down to my qualifying effort, and it was very poor. I checked it off on both my fast laps, and that's kind of the result for that. Tough to pass at Mid-Ohio, but looking forward to tomorrow.
Well, hopefully a better qualifying leads to a better result for Colton Herta. Now let's hear from our championship leader, Kelly.
Yeah, it's Scott Dixon, and I'm sure he's also looking for a better qualifying result come tomorrow. Scott, you had your work cut out for you from the drop of the green flag. What was it like winding your way through traffic? You gained quite a few spots.
Yeah, it was pretty interesting. You know, I think we kind of took the conservative route, thinking that the reds were going to maybe go off because we had that, you know, that set in qualifying, and we thought maybe there would be more of them. It looked like maybe Andretti had that situation. But yeah, we just kind of made a few at the start, and then, you know, the middle stem was really tough because a lot of people went to the alternate tire, the red tire, and they were really fast. So had a long race there with Herta, and actually hit him coming out of turn 2. I don't know, he just stopped in the middle of the road and then hit him. I still haven't spoken to him yet to see what happened there because we were kind of straight and accelerating. I don't know if he had a dog-to-dog or something, but yeah, tough day with this qualifying and the way it is. Really hard, and especially with the strategy. You know, how they shorten these races just makes the race pretty boring.
Scott Dixon, a top 10 for him, but he loses a little bit of ground in the championship, standing 76 points now ahead of Joseph Newgarden.
So, from a 96-point advantage, it has been trimmed to 76. Joseph Newgarden eating into Scott Dixon's very healthy lead, and despite a pretty tough day on track, Pato O'Ward remains 3rd in the championship.
Well, he had his hands full today, Scott Dixon, with the youth movement, Townsend, and he's lost in 2 races, 41 points. So has the momentum shifted?
Dixon's got to figure out how to qualify better tomorrow. Newgarden needs to figure out how to put on a Will Power performance tomorrow to give him a shot to really claw out some more points that Scott Dixon has in the lead right now. But for some of these guys, they're just trying to fight their way into the top 10 as we get to the last 4 rounds of the championship.
There is some heavy rain predicted overnight, even though it's rained a little here this evening. So if the grass and dirt areas are really muddy and damp, any off-track activity tomorrow could breed some cautions. This guy doesn't care about that. Will Power had a dominant day, leading 66 of the 75 laps to get his first ever victory here at Mid-Ohio. We'll see you tomorrow at 1 Eastern on NBC. Right now, let's send you to Krista Voda and the team. We're talking NASCAR playoffs. Krista? Welcome to the Honda Racing Race Review. Lee Diffie, Paul Tracy with you at Mid-Ohio. Will Power started on the pole position, and that kind of set the tone of the day for him. Meanwhile, championship leader Paul Scott Dixon was making some big moves from 17th.
He really was. He made a lot of ground in the very beginning, but kind of stalled out. Rossi had a great race, one of his best of the year, but Will Power was in control all day.
Rossi was the top Honda, Will Power the top driver, winning for the first time at the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. Big win for him.